To solve this linear equation, we're going to need to clear fractions. The way we clear fractions is to multiply by the lowest common denominator. You notice the denominators in these fractions are 8, 4, and 2. The least common denominator would be 8. So we're going to multiply both sides by 8. On this side we have two terms, so we're going to use parentheses and multiply by 8. And on the other side of the equation we also have two terms. We'll use parentheses and multiply by 8. I'm going to use the distributive property and multiply each term by 8. So I'm going to multiply 8 to the first term and 8 to the second term. 8 also to the first term on that side and to the second term. I want to write that 8 next to each term so we can see how we're going to reduce this problem. So it's 8 times the 2x plus 1 divided by 8 minus the 8 times the 1/4 is equal to the 8 times the x minus 3 over 2 and also the 8 times the 1. Now I wrote this next to each term so that we can see how we're going to reduce our fractions. That way we can clear our fractions. So we'll have 8 goes into 8 once, 4 goes into 8 twice, 2 goes into 8 4 times, and there's no reducing here because there's no denominator. So this leaves me with 2x plus 1 minus 2 is equal to, multiplying the 4 to the x will give us 4x, minus, and multiplying the 4 to the 3 will give us 12, which is added to 8. In solving this equation, there are terms that we can combine to make this look a little cleaner. We still have our 2x minus 1, combining those like terms, equals 4x, and then combining these like terms, we will have negative 4. In solving this equation, we have variables on both sides of the equation, so we need to combine like terms. Actually, it's not called combining like terms when the equation when equal sign separates them. We actually get rid of one of them. Let's get rid of that 4x by adding a negative 4x to both sides of the equation. So on this side of the equation, we have negative 2x minus 1 equals, and on this side of the equation, we have negative 4. So our variable is not alone. We still have things we need to get rid of. We'll get rid of the furthest thing first. We'll get rid of the negative 1 by adding positive 1 to both sides of this equation. So now we have negative 2x is equal to negative 3. X is still not alone. We're multiplying by negative 2. So I'm going to multiply by negative 1/2 to both sides of the equation. Cleaning that up, let's see what we get. We now have x is equal to a positive 3/2. 3/2 can be written as 1.5 or 1.5, but typically we just leave our fractions top heavy. We do reduce, but it's not too much of a problem to have the numerator being larger than the denominator.